until like the wheezing got worse and my chest, it started to feel tighter and I was feeling lightheaded. Like I never experienced that before. Hey guys, it's your girl Deja and I'm back with another video, guys. And before we get into this video, guys, I'm gonna need y'all to like, comment, and subscribe, because if you ain't subscribed, what are you doing? What is you doing? You either get with it or you get left. Period. So subscribe and stay tuned. Guys, as you can see by the title, today I'm gonna be doing a story time about something that's still traumatizing and still sensitive to me to this day, guys. And yeah, so it's gonna be about how I almost lost my life at the age of 22. So yeah. So around that time, how can I start it out? Around 2018, I remember me having really bad asthma. Like I would go back and forth in the hospital. It would probably be like a week later or 2 weeks later, I would just transfer going back forth to the hospital because my asthma was bad. It's like I would walk up a block and I would still start to like wheeze and I would hear my breath go, just like breathing heavy and things like that. And I remember just like being in the hospital. So mind you, on top of that, I feel like that's when I became to get really depressed, because I feel like I was arguing with like everybody in my house. Like me and my mom, we wasn't getting along. We was on really bad terms. Just a lot of family issues. And I had lost my job. Then I had lost my best friend. So I was going through a lot around 2018. So plus my asthma, guys. So about like a week, I think it was, damn, I want to get the date. It was sometime in October. I had went to my cousin's house. We had smoked and drank, and we had got lit. So I don't remember how many blunts I had, because I just remember like I was having blunts back to back, to the point that my friend was looking at me like, girl, like, because my friend was there. I had brought my friend over to my cousin's house. She was looking at me like, girl, how many blunts you gonna do? But I was like really going through something. Like that time, guys, like I wanted to really harm myself or harm somebody else. Like I was just really going through stuff. So I was just smoking. So the next day, let's fast forward to the next day, guys. It was my brother's birthday, so I had went home. My mother was asking me to do errands back and forth and things for him for his birthday. So I had done that, and I felt myself wheezing, and I never felt this wheeze before. Like, and I was just out of breath. So I tried taking my pump, and my pump wasn't working. It wasn't working, so I wound up going home. And I wound up taking a pill, and it was like a steroid pill, and that didn't work. So later on that day, I remember myself sitting on the couch, just sitting there, just wheezing, watching everything, like just acting like everything was okay. And my mother kept asking me, she's like, is everything okay? Because she's seen something in me. She's like, you know, is everything okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. And then I got up, I started dancing. Even though I wasn't feeling well, I just still got up and started dancing and things like that. Until like the wheezing got worse and my chest, it started to feel tighter and I was feeling lightheaded. Like I never experienced that before. So I'm like, let me call the ambulance. So I wound up calling the ambulance. My mother's like, I'm gonna stay here because it's my brother's birthday. And plus she was still cooking, and she had invited like guests over, her friends, and the rest of my family was coming over. So they didn't really think a big deal about it. And she's like, you could go by yourself, because all they're just gonna do is give you the asthma machine, and that's gonna make your asthma calm down. So I wound up going, and next thing I know, I was in the hospital. Next thing I know, I was in the ambulance, and I was on my way, and I was in there. I was like, it's getting worse. My chest is feeling more tight. I was telling the guy, it's getting worse. My chest is feeling tight. It's feeling tight. I cannot breathe. He's like, calm down. He's like, you don't want to hyperventilate. So when I got Fast forward now, I'm in the hospital now. The hospital. So they rushed me in, and the lady's like, she's like, okay, let me put an asthma machine. Let me put her on the asthma machine. She puts me on the asthma machine. That doesn't work. So she's like, oh, okay, hold on, sweetie. We're gonna give you a higher dose of the asthma machine. And I'm like, I'm sitting here, I'm so nervous, I'm so scared. I'm thinking I'm gonna die because my chest was hurting me so bad. Like it felt like I couldn't breathe or anything. So the lady, I'm telling the lady, I'm like, can you hurry up? I remember telling her, like, can you hurry up? Can you hurry up? Can you hurry up? I cannot breathe. It's getting worse. And the next thing I know, I fainted and I passed out. And I was out for 3 days. I was in a coma for 3 days. My mom, she remembered me. She remembered when I woke up. All she could tell me is that I was just there sleeping. She was crying every day. My grandmother was crying. My brothers, they was crying. My father, he was crying. Like, just like my family was crying. They even like asked people for the church to pray for me because, you know, it was the second day and they didn't know like what they didn't know. Like my mother, like, you know, my mother was just going through. She was like, my child is on life support and she has a tube in her mouth because they had to intubate me. So she had a tube in her mouth down her throat. So my mother was just like really scared. When I just remember waking up and crying and literally thanking God for my life because I almost died at 22 years old. And I would never forget that. That made me take my asthma more serious. Like me take my medicine each and every day and things like that. Like it was really really life-changing experience that I went through, guys. And you know, I just remember thanking God. I remember like me spitting out the tube, and then the nurses kept asking me, did my throat hurt and stuff? And I was like, no, my throat don't hurt. And it was like, good. When I woke up, I had so many bruises on my arm, cuts and things, because they poked me a lot when I was passed out. I even had needle marks on my stomach and things like that. Like even when I woke up, they kept, I remember them kept on giving me shots in my stomach. I forgot what was the shots for, but it was hurt. I was in so much pain when I woke up because the shots was hurting me. Like, and even when I would look down in my arm, it just looked so disgusting how many times they poked me. And it's because the nurse was like, I had little veins, and mind you, they pumped me with a whole lot of steroids. So I was so hungry. I gained so much weight. When I came home, I was about 250 pounds. That's how much weight I gained it because I kept eating so much food. Like they would want me to eat like soft spoon food, like a banana, like some soup, like some oatmeal. And I would be like, no, I don't want no banana. I don't want no oatmeal. I don't want none of that. I want me some Chinese food. So my dad, he would give me some Chinese food. My mom would get me some ice cream. Like that's all I wanted when I was in the hospital. So like I was just like, I was eating all over. Like I was just a mess in there because when I woke up, I was eating everything. I'm not gonna lie. Like my mother, she was just so happy that I was she was just so happy to see me and I was alive. That anything that I wanted from my parents, I was just spoiled rotten. Like the doctor, she would look at me and be like, girl, you know you're not supposed to be eating that. And I would be looking and I'll just be laughing. She was like, I understand, like, you know, your parents are just happy to see you and things. But I would never forget that experience, guys. That was the most scariest experience I ever experienced in my life, guys. It definitely made me take my asthma way serious, guys, way serious. And I'm actually so blessed because after that experience, guys, I did not have no more asthma problems. No more asthma problems. Like after that experience, I have not been having trouble with breathing. Even when, like now I'm on my workout journey, so I've been working out a lot. And when I be on the treadmill or I be walking around the track, I'm not breathing heavy or none of that. And I thank God for that. I literally thank God for that. And honestly, when I look back at what happened to me, I think of it like a blessing. I think of it as a blessing because when before I had passed out and went on a coma, I was going through so much stuff. I was fighting with my family. You hear me? Like I lost my so-called best friend. I lost my job. I was going through a lot. I hated myself. Everything I hated myself. You know, I was so angry. I remember like wanting to end myself. So I feel like God, in the way he had saved me, he had gave me another chance, you know. And I remember my mother friend, she had asked me, she said, when you were sleeping, did you see God? And I was like, no, I didn't see God, but I do feel like I was with God, because I feel like God was talking to me. I feel like he was talking to me. He was connecting with me. This was his way to get my attention, to go to him. And I'm grateful for the whole experience. Like, even though I say I'm traumatized, you know, and things, because that will always stay with me. What happened to me, you know, always will stay with me. I'm grateful for another chance in life. It taught me to be it taught me to not take my life for granted. It taught me to be more kind towards people. It taught me to be more understanding. It taught me a lot of things. It taught me to say that you love your mama, your sister, your brother. Tell them that you love them, because you never know when something just this drastic can happen to them. You never know. We here today and going tomorrow. So it told me to say, I love you. I love you right then and there. So yeah, guys. So that is my story, guys. And it honestly told me a lot. And I'm really proud of myself for even sharing this story, because I'm not going to lie, guys, I was super nervous. Yeah. So guys, if you like my story time, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, guys. Bye.